Non-binary, androgynous. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. Cis people, they're the same picture. No. Just no. Sure, if you're non-binary, you can choose to be androgynous, or try your best to look androgynous, because you love that style and because that's what feels right for you. Sure. But dressing androgynous doesn't mean you're non-binary, and being non-binary really doesn't mean you have to dress androgynously. What are you doing, cis people? What are you doing? Hello BabyQueers, and welcome back to my channel. It is time for some non-binary memes, some genderqueer memes, just some fun memes about the confusing cisgender people, really. But you know the drill. Before we look at any more memes, y'all gotta get hydrated. Grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll check out some more memes. Are you hydrated? Good, let's go. Me, wanting to get a non-binary haircut and clothes, just running happily along, me being deep in the closet. That's a wall. The good thing about walls is depending on the strength on the wall, it's gonna be easier or harder, but you can always break the wall down if you have the right tools. Or you can find a door or a window to climb through. You know, but yeah, fair. But again, people are definitely gonna ask questions because people are weird and want to get involved in other people's lives like that, even if you're not close with them. But you know, you can still like get a different haircut or like try a new style of clothes without necessarily having to out yourself. Just be prepared that some people are gonna ask weird question, and if you're assigned female at birth, well, probably they're just gonna question if you're gay either way, aren't they? Yeah, people are just gonna question if you're gay, probably, because gay is like something very present in people's minds, whereas like trans or non-binary, not as much, so they're probably just gonna think you're gay. But still be prepared for weird questions if you try it without coming out. Hey, I heard you're non-binary recently. What does that mean? Oh, I don't subscribe to gender. I'm not male or female. Yes, I know I have the parts, but I don't do those gender roles. Subscribe? Gender has a subscription? Wait, why wasn't I told this? Hey guys, did you know Gender has a subscription? Yeah, I cancelled mine years ago. No wonder they took mine. Well, the thing about subscriptions is, unless you pay attention to them, they're just gonna like renew and keep going. Kind of the same way with your gender, because you get assigned a gender, you get this subscription at birth, right? And unless you like consciously think about it, it's like, hey, wait a second, that's going on. You're just gonna let it run. Which is why cis people are so oblivious to a lot of things, because they don't really notice that subscription is ongoing. It's just something that's so ingrained in them that they don't really notice, and that it's fine for them. But queer people notice, you know? So if you want to cancel it, go cancel it. If you don't want to cancel it, that's cool. If you just want to change it because you were assigned one thing at birth and you're just like, oh, wait a second, no, y'all made a mistake. Y'all signed me up for the wrong goddamn thing. You can change it, you know? So, what was that important thing you wanted to tell me? Wow, you're non-binary? Which pronouns fit best so I can refer to you appropriately? The dog was on your ass. I was like, you better not be talking shit. You better not be rude to this person. You're just asking pronouns? And a different name? Okay, cool. Now we can sleep in peace. Which is fair. Which is fair. Again, I don't condone violence. I'm not saying it's an appropriate response to suffocate someone, because we all know how this comic ends in some versions of this meme, but still, don't be rude, or your dog will try to suffocate you with a pillow. Realistic transition goals? No. I want to look like this. I have not wanted to look like this specifically, but kind of being like very abstract and not looking human at all anymore seems like a fun twist sometimes, you know? so I think it's fair. You know, what I lack for in gender, I make up for in social anxiety. I am not sure that's how this works. I don't think that's how it works. And I do think being queer generally comes, or like very frequently comes, with a side of like social anxiety, right? Because cishet people be rude, and you never know which ones are gonna be the one that are gonna be hateful towards you. So it's kind of understandable that you would be anxious in social situations. I'm not sure it makes up for a lack of gender, but you can try. And also, if y'all forgot to drink water, this person posted it with a caption of "Don't forget to drink water," which is fair. So I had to include the caption in this one, you know? Okay, I believe in having a midlife crisis every 2 weeks about your gender identity supremacy. Y'all. I can't come for you because fair. Because I keep saying, I just say I'm queer. Or I just use the label queer now. Because A, it's easier. To a lot of people, it really like shouldn't matter what these specifics are, because why do they care so much, really? Right? Like, especially if they're interested in your sexuality that much, it seems kind of weird. It just seems weird. Especially like that on like who you want to sleep with, or if you're trans in any way, how you sleep with people is way too interesting. Stay in your lane, mind your own damn business. But I know questioning it often is still kind of a thing, because I have ADHD. And I can be so sure of something, but I have no emotional permanency. So I'm just like, 2 weeks later, completely forgot how sure I felt. Like, logically, I know you were so sure of this. You know it's true. But then something comes up, or my mind is like, you know what? No, I think you're lying. And I think a lot of queer people do this even without having ADHD. So I can't come for it, but still, y'all. If you question your gender, you definitely know you're not cisgender anymore, because most cis people don't have to question it. And if they do question it, it's kind of a short detour of, wait, but what if I am in fact not cis? But then they're just like, you know what, no, it's fine. Because they don't have to question it as much, because it's just kind of something that comes natural to them, you know? Why? I feel like I got race sidetracked from this meme, but why? Why are we like this? Coming up with my first meme using this template, and it's about being non-binary. Posting it on r/memes. After comments, whole post becomes a debate about my apparent delusion. Never again. And then this person found the non-binary meme subreddit like 2 minutes later. But yeah, posting anything queer related on non-queer subreddits is a very dangerous game to play. If you like stirring the pot, and if you want to see people getting into debates, it is a good idea. If you just like actually want queer people to relate to you, or want like wholesome queer encounters, don't post it on non-queer subreddits. That's not gonna work. You can have some of them, sure, but you can have so many rude, hateful people just going off on you because you're queer. That is just so wrong. Again, stay in your lane. Like, if you don't like a meme because you can't relate to it, or because you think being non-binary is weird, ignore it and move on. Like, it's literally not that hard. You just scroll past. That's a possibility, you know? Ah yes, the 3 genders: male, female, and classified. Is that basically what I am doing if I just say I'm queer and mean my gender as well as my sexuality? Is like, it's classified. You don't know what my gender is. You don't know what genders I'm attracted to. Because it's classified. Because if you're another queer person, I am willing to discuss it into detail. But if you're cishet, it kind of becomes very classified very quickly. actually. Yeah. My brain. What about coming out? Me, asexual. We already did. My brain. We have once, yes. But what about second coming out as non-binary? Being queer, for a lot of queer people, does come with multiple labels. Like, I don't think it's actually that many. I see it popping up more and more. But that's because I'm in a lot of like different sub-communities and I'm on a lot of different subreddits, so I just see it a lot. Like, of course there are people who are just gay or just lesbian or just trans and are actually still straight, or just bisexual or something. Sure, there are people with one label, but honestly, a lot of us want to collect more labels. And I still want to get like a sticker book and like put it in. It wouldn't actually be that funny in real life because it wouldn't be that many, obviously, but still. Now you gotta come out again. And I think that's fair. It can be exhausting, but it's still fair because who only has one label? Come on. Me, when I was a kid, making my email address with my dead name. First name, middle initial, last name. Me, looking back, unable to change my email now that I have a completely different name. Oh no, cringe. My very first email that I don't use anymore for that specific reason was my dead name spelled backwards with the day I was born. I don't use it anymore for that very specific reason. Because if you're gonna use that to apply for jobs for, it just looks very unserious if you have it spelled backwards. And secondly, it's my dead name. I'm not gonna use that. Like, no. Fun fact, I used to hate my dead name. In any context, I just hated it so much because I never liked it. Like, even when I was a little kid, I never liked my name. I didn't like nickname variations. Other people did either. Like, if I made up a nickname, it usually wasn't similar to my birth name at all, but even if it was like a feminine sounding nickname, it was still fine. But when other people did it, it wasn't. And also only the way I pronounced it. If people pronounced it differently because they're very German and just pronounce it in the German way, not the English way I pronounced it, I hated it. It gave me so much dysphoria. Just make a new email. Just create a new email. You know? OT, saying how if you doubt yourself in who you are, then you are who you say you are. Me, doubting myself about being non-binary threatens you with the wholesome. I hope you see this, OT, because you helped me realize who I am and there's nothing wrong with who I am, and that my doubt is really just me confirming who I am, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm very bad at pointing in the camera, as you notice, but Grumpy OT would probably not be so grumpy if you heard this. He would be melting because it's adorable. And he's just so wholesome. He's so wholesome. He would appreciate this, so I do actually hope he saw this meme. Please tell me you posted it to the OT subreddit as well, because then he will quite definitely see it. Yeah. But this is what I talked about earlier. Like, the doubts will come back no matter how long you know you are, and it gets a whole lot easier to deal with, but we're raised in a society that tells you that being cishet is the norm. So even if you did the work of figuring out that, whatever, you're bisexual or you're non-binary, then the doubts are still gonna settle back in. It's just like, wait, what if I'm just like reading into it? Or what if I'm just being dramatic and I can just be fine living as a man or a woman? That's just cishet expectations. That's not really you. Because in a way, it makes sense for you to want your life to be as easy as possible. And fun fact, if you come out as trans, people will tell you that you didn't choose an easy path, you know? And I hate it, and I want to punch those people in the face, actually. I'm hoping my dad never finds this YouTube channel, by the way, because he was one of those people who said, oh, well, you really didn't choose an easy path, did you? Like, pull yourself together. I did not choose to be trans or non-binary. I just chose not to off myself. You know? So in a way, it just kind of seems like your life would be easier if you were cishet, because then you would have to deal with a lot less hate. But it's not going to make you happy. It definitely isn't. Like, if it's safer for you to pretend to be cishet, I know it sucks, but please do. But still, it's not going to make you happy. But it's still going to, like, cause some doubt. And it's going to get easier to deal with. So yeah, listen to OT if you're not going to listen to me. Because he would tell you, like, kind of the same thing in maybe more structured. Okay, boomers will let a guy named Gordon Sumner be called Sting, but won't respect someone's pronouns. Yeah, chosen names are fine as long as it's cis people. You know, that's just it. People have no issues calling people nicknames, even if they have nothing to do with their actual name, because it's not just like celebrities. Like, if their friend who's called Ben is like, hey, can you call me whatever instead? They're gonna be like, yeah, sure. Or just like make up random nicknames that may or may not sound like the name at all or have anything to do with it. That's fine. But as soon as it's trans people, like, hey, can you not call me Ben? It's my dead name and I hate it. It makes me dysphoric. Can you call me Anna instead? They'll be like, no, I can't do that because you're a boy, you know? Like, y'all, don't be rude. If someone gets married, you have no issues. Well, historically, I gotta say, people are kind of bad at just remembering it and will keep saying the old name, and you have to keep correcting them anyway. So it does take people some time, even if someone gets married. But still, technically no one has an issue with that, because, oh yeah, no, sure, you got married, you have a different name now, okay, cool. But why is it taught with trans people? I know, because y'all are transphobic dipshits, but why? Just why? I'll start expressing my gender with better looking and more androgynous clothes. Being 6'4", 230 pounds, and a assigned male at birth. It does make it harder. It does make it harder. I'm very tiny. I can shop in kids sections. Yeah. So finding clothes of any gender is fairly easy for me. So I feel you, and I'm sorry. I don't feel you because I've not been in that situation, but I can only imagine how this must suck. But honestly, with online shopping, it became somewhat easier if you have that possibility, because like in stores, it's already gonna be hard to find clothes that fit and that look good. Online shopping is your friend. Yeah. Okay, I'm definitely gonna mispronounce his name, but Enekra. You humans are so obsessed with distinction. That is female, that is male. Life is not to be tagged and sorted, worm. Life is chaos, and chaos cannot be preserved and studied. You can attempt to, and people did their best to categorize and be like, no, there's two sexes, male and female. But biology literally isn't even that easy, because you have no idea. Isn't it like 2 in 100 people, I think, that are intersex, that their biology doesn't even match the male-female distinction. And then, on top of that, you're gonna throw gender identity and just assume that human brains are that simple that they're not gonna deviate from two options? Y'all. How do you expect that to work? Like, if biology doesn't even want to listen to your binary, because why would it? Why would you expect this many people? Like, there is just so many people on this earth. You really expect them to fall neatly into one of two categories? How? Hey, I had a question about the term non-binary. I see a lot of people say it's more of an umbrella term, and others say it's a gender within itself. How do you see the term? Gendered. An appropriate answer. Not the answer they were hoping for, but an appropriate answer nonetheless. Because yeah, technically it is an umbrella term. Some people use it as like a label for their gender, because like, I'm not a man or a woman, I don't give a fuck about anything else, I'm just gonna use it. Some people prefer to specify it, which is why there are sublabels like agender or bigender. I don't know, I'm not gonna list them all right now, we don't have the time. But, you know, it isn't technically a gender. It's just used as a category to describe it. Because people already have so many issues grasping the fact that there are more than two. And for those people, we usually say, yeah, no, third gender, because, you know, my grandfather, you're the man of the house, take care of your mother. Me, agender. What now? But also, this is just weird, it's so cringy. Like, I know if you have like a little 4-year-old boy, he's gonna get so excited to be told this, but it's so cringy and so disgusting and so sexist that I really don't care. It's really weird. My grandma was telling me about a non-cis friend of hers and couldn't remember their preferred terminology, so she just called them gender mysterious. If this wasn't that person's preferred gender terminology, it might be now. And it might be mine now, because fair. Because what even is gender? What even is it? What? I don't get it. I don't get gender. Gender is confusing. So gender mysterious does seem very fitting. Nobody. Non-binary people. Are you a boy or are you a girl? What? No? I know this is the one that cis people like to make fun of. You can't even decide on a gender. Like, fuck it, why would I? Like, why would I? Like, why would you want to limit yourself, you know? So, what? Me, assigned female at birth, trying to figure out my gender, like, am I a man or am I a Muppet? New gender just dropped? Because I kind of like the, you know, because people are like, there's only two genders, and then the trans people are like, you know what, every time you complain about it, we're just gonna add 2 more genders. So at some point we're gonna run out of names, so naming one gender Muppet to annoy the cis people is something I can get behind. I'm not a Christian, I'm more of a he them. Get it? Because heathen. If you've been here any amount of time, you know I hate puns. But I had to include this one. It hurts, but I still had to include it. When you're having sex with a gender fluid person and halfway through they change their gender to make you gay. Oh no. Y'all. I can tell that a non-binary person posted this as a shitpost to make fun of the cishet people who do think that this is how it works, or who do think that trans people would do this or non-binary people would do this just to turn you gay, because didn't you know that's how gay people are made, you know, this and only this. Like, what do you what? Male or female? No. Assigned male at birth or assigned female at birth? Well, maybe. Non-binary. Okay, now we're getting there. ACAB. Assigned cunt at birth. Yes, that's literally before I figured out what ACAB actually meant. I was just looking at it because I was like already very aware of like trans terminology and AFAB and AMAB. So I was like, ACAB? And I couldn't figure out what C stood for. So I was just thinking like, well, assigned cunt at birth. That's literally what my brain went to. And then I googled and I was like, well, not cunt as in positive, you know, as in like it's giving cunt in a very positive, like gay way. Just like giving like cunt as a derogatory term kind of way. You know, it still kind of works both ways. Me, wanting to go to prom looking androgynous. My parents, who I'm not out to. Hey, let's buy you a suit. Or we can rent a tuxedo. Fuck. The issues, the struggle of not being out to your parents. This is fair. I had to wear a dress to like my graduation ball. I was very uncomfortable. I looked pretty, but if you look at the pictures, you can still tell how uncomfortable I was. Oh well. Okay, choose one. Be rich, read minds. Invisibility, have less boobs sometimes. My gender fluid ass. Yeah. If this is you, if you kind of wish you could like detach your boobs, and you don't know you're non-binary yet, or gender fluid, I have some news for you, because guess what? Cis people don't usually want to get rid of their boobs. Like, women who have like huge boobs kind of wish they could get rid of them sometimes if they give them back pains, or if it's just like uncomfortable to lay down or something. Sure, but they don't like randomly want to get rid of them because they think they would look better without, or because they want to look masculine. I guess what, most that's not a very cis thing to do. Me, what are your pronouns? Boomer. I don't participate in that nonsense. Me, a genderless party goer. Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro. Yeah. Yeah, the people, I don't know how people are so confused about pronouns. Like, the whole, oh, everyone uses pronouns, and then people be like, I don't have pronouns. Sure you do. You really do, trust me, because if I'm going to use the wrong set of pronouns for you, you're going to lose your shit. But still, if you're actually agender, you're just like, yeah, I don't participate in that nonsense, like, honestly, whatever. Or the whole introvert joke of, no, I don't have pronouns, please don't refer to me. That is also fair. I'm laughing so hard. He's asking the ghost all the questions, and it's giving answers using the 1 beep, 2 beep system. And then it asks if it's a boy or a girl, and it just starts screaming. Once for male, twice for female, beeping. Stop it! I've seen this around so many times, and it's still hilarious to me. Because the ghost literally said, fuck your binary, no. My god, why would you ask me that? Can I have a moment's peace? I go through this shit while I'm alive. Then I die, thinking I have some goddamn peace about my goddamn gender now. And y'all gonna bring this shit to me now? Really? So yelling at that person. Actually, if you're still alive and people keep bugging you with this question, yelling at them might probably also gonna be a good answer. You know, like it's a good option. Anyways, that was all the beans I have for today. Honestly, this was one of the least frustrating videos I've done in a while, because I did one on Are the Cis Okay recently. Newsflash, they're really not. Some of them sure, but not the ones in that video, trust me. So if you want to go frustrated, go check it out. If not, just finish your drink. Maybe get a snack or something, and go watch something else, because that video is gonna just frustrate you, man. Trust me. But anyways, that was all the memes, and I will see you in 3 days with my next video.